Check, check, check. Just got to make sure everything's going through properly. Praying that it is right now. Kind of fitting that I'm saying prayers right now, but let's see. Okay, the game is kind of, yeah, it is zoomed way far out right now. Time to quick adjust that. There we go. Now it should be capturing properly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta turn down the volume a little bit so I can actually speak. Greetings, cadets and citizens, and welcome. Well, I guess I should say welcome back to Touhou 6. Now, quite a bit has happened. Quite a bit has happened in regards to this game. For one, I actually did a little bit of off-stream practicing, and, well, I managed to get to stage 6. Not gonna say whether or not I survived. Actually, no, I didn't survive. I didn't get a 1 credit clear, but tonight that's hopefully about to change because I figured out a few things. For one, well, of course, I had to make sure that my player and bomb counts are maxed out, but I figured out I could play this game with a controller, which, if you didn't know, I usually prefer playing my games with a controller because it's just naturally easier for me. Anyways, actually, I have to resize the game up a little bit here so that it fits in the screen. I'll get it centered. Try to get it. Properties. Capture specific. You get it 240 by 240. Yeah, hope everyone's having a good night or day out there today. So far for me, it's been going, you know, it's been a bit rough, but I'm making it through this week. It's just taking life as it comes. All right, the ad break's just about finished. All right, well, that's gonna have to do for now. I'm not going to bother fiddling around with it for too much longer. Anyways, like I said, I did figure out that you could play this game with a controller, so again, that makes things a little bit easier for me, but there is a catch. For some reason, the fire button in this game, when you use a controller, it automatically triggers you to go into focus mode, which that'll dramatically reduce my movement speed. But I believe I can use that to my advantage, because Marisa, the character that I've been using for this game, for my previous clear attempts, she moves around like a 7-Eleven crackhead. So, getting her to slow down a little bit will make things a little bit easier for me from a control standpoint. And plus, that'll allow me to focus her firepower on the bosses when I need to. And also, another reason why I decided to use a controller is because I figured out off camera that you can't focus, shoot, and use a bomb at the same time. So, with the controller, I can, for some reason. For some reason, with the keyboard, it's just like, use Shift, Z, and X at the same time, it just doesn't register. But with a controller, you just use A and B, and then it's a very quick to use. But anyways, enough of me yapping. I'm going to be pretty quiet for most of this stream because I'm going to have to focus a lot if I want to get that 1 credit clear tonight. But yeah. Let's get right into this. Now, this is the class I've been using, Marisa B, as I've heard it called, with the Illusion, Laser, and Master Spark, which I figured out is her spell card, Master Spark, has like the longest uptime, and it's one of the most effective against bosses. Plus, the illusion laser itself does a lot of damage. So that's what I'll be using. Maybe sometime later I will decide to go back and do this with Reimu or the other Marisa class, but for now, I'll be sticking with the illusion laser class. Alright, enough yapping. Let's get right into this bullet hell. As you can see, yeah, my movement speed is already way slower, but that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. Because, like I said, when I'm not focusing in game, as like a game control, Marisa moves extremely fast. I mean, sure, I have less attack range than I already do, but whatever gets caught in that center laser is going to get absolutely shredded. Yeah, see, we're already on the mid-boss Rumia, and she's getting absolutely shredded. Yeah, she didn't even get to her second, like, her third attack. Yeah, they say Reimu's like the beginner-friendly class, but Marisa, she has so much firepower that you don't have to worry as much about dodging. Because by the time that a bullet gets near you, whatever's shooting it is already dead. Anyways, here I am saying that I'd be a little bit more quiet because I need to focus, but here I am yapping anyways. Hey, at least I didn't die within the first stage. Let's hope it stays that way. Also, by the way, I did end up deleting the my first stream for this game because I kind of violated one of Zun's rules for these games. And that is I'm not allowed to show any endings. So when I do eventually get to the ending bit, I am going to go to a BRB screen so that, you know, even though it's very unlikely that Zun will actually find my channel, I don't want him to, like, take me down because I violated one of his rules, so plus, it's a little bit more of a hassle for me to go back and try to delete the particular scenes, so I just decided, why not? It's not like anyone saw those streams anyways, so I just went ahead and deleted them. Plus, this will serve as, like, my true welcome to bullet hell thing. Whee! That was close. I almost got squished between, like, 15 different bullets there. Alright, well, that's the first stage done. No deaths yet, but I'm anticipating at least a few throughout this stream. No one goes through these games without getting hit at least once, no matter how good you are. I am kind of like trying to click fire, as you can see, so that I can move a bit faster. That's the only way I'm going to be able to fire without, you know, going into focus mode. And I mean, I don't mind it in this game, but I know when I get to Imperishable Night, which is not the next game, but the game after, I am going to want to use keyboard for that game. Anyways, here's Diose. Oh, this is just too easy. That's just... I know that's a little bit RNG based right there. But she just got incinerated or vaporized there by that laser. Alright, I really want to stay, like, don't want to move too much here because these birds, they don't shoot any bullets, but they still have a hitbox, and I don't want to get hit. You also may notice that I am playing this game at 144 FPS. That does present me with a few problems as well, in that it'll be way more difficult for me to, you know, use a death bomb. Oh. Of course, as soon as I say that, a random icicle just drops on my head. There's Shirano. Time to heat her up a bit. Time to melt this ice. Alright, here's my strategy. One side, then the other. I can't believe I just got... This isn't even one of the harder stages. I'm already getting owned by this stupid ice fairy. Okay, I'm just gonna keep... You know, usually when I was off stream, I was able to just use the laser, and that would be enough to shred her before, you know, one of those icicles would have hit me. Alright, RNG Fest time. I can't believe this. I'm dying to one of the dumbest characters in the franchise. Alright, well maybe it's just because I'm streaming and I'm trying to yap too much, but... Yeah, I lost 3 lives to this one stage. I actually would not mind... You know what? That run's done. So, yeah, I'm just gonna restart now. Why not? Oh, man. Like I said, I did manage to get up to stage 6, so... I'm really just choking here on, like, the littlest things. Alright. Again, enough yapping. Gotta focus. I swear, everything started going downhill as, like, soon as I got full power, which is ironic. Absolutely vaporized there. I swear, if someone comes in on stream later and asks, why are you locked in focus right now? This isn't specifically like, I can only use focus mode challenge. But yeah, it's the fact that I'm using a controller is why that's happening. And I'm not gonna go around and fiddle around with my controller, with my button maps at the moment. Alright. Yeah, I know. You're talking about Reimu right now. What she'd say if she was in your place right now. I would know because, you know, I did actually play a little bit as Reimu. Didn't make it far, though. Alright, time to focus. See, just got melted. Yeah, they say don't use an analog stick if you're doing this game with a controller. Just like that. Well, I can't read a beam. It's not like using an analog stick for this game is like the worst thing that you could do. In fact, it's actually quite helpful for me. It's like the same thing that happened when I was playing Air Combat. Game required, like, it was built with a D-pad in mind, but I was able to make it work with with the analog stick. Right, again, just gonna try to clear up the screen as... gotta pay attention to what's behind me sometimes. Once I get to the bosses, I'm not going to be afraid to start using bombs again. I'm going to kind of have to, especially for the later ones, like Sophia. Oh, man. some people say like Sakya is like actually harder than Remilia in this game, which I would not argue with them on that. Great. I was hoping I didn't have to deal with that, but I had to anyways. Okay, die. Why are you giving me such issues right now? Alright, I have a bomb now. Well, I got myself an extra bomb. I'm gonna save that for Cyrano. Actually, how do you pronounce her name? Do you pronounce it Cyrano? Cyrano? It almost sounds like Cheerio when you say it like that. But I think I'm gonna stick with Cyrano for now. Not exactly at max power right now, but that doesn't really matter to me right now. Yeah, it's just a cold summer. It's just a cold summer right now, Marisa. Alright, same strategy as before, just juke her out like that. I want to try to... Okay. I'm just gonna use one right now. I don't care. Honestly, that's probably harder to deal with than the second spell, in my opinion. Alright, just avoid the small bullets. Don't be afraid to use vertical movement either. There's a nice empty... Oh. They said they wouldn't... Oh. Where was I supposed to move that time? Alright, now for the easy one. My problem is, I'm focusing more on where the bullets are heading. And not so much doing damage to... Okay, Cyrano there. Alright, well, this is bad for me right now. I usually make it up to stage 3 with all my lives intact. But right now, I'm down to 3. I lost 2 on that single stage. One of them to that dumbass fairy, but... Hopefully I'll be able to get some back now, because... Very close to getting 1,000,000 points, which is... the threshold for you getting your next, like, your first live through points. Or I think, no, it's 10 million. If it was 1 million, I'd already be there now. There we go, now I got an extra life. And 3 more bombs to go with it. Unfortunately, I haven't reached full... Now I'm at full power mode, hell yeah. Now I can actually go to the top of the screen and collect items with... I want to avoid those things too. Yeah, I know, going to the top of the screen is a little bit risky. But that's how you get as many points as you can. Avoid meleeing as much as possible. Yeah, that just... I was caught off guard by that. And that. Alright. I'm just gonna... Not even hesitate, I'm gonna use a bomb right there. Yeah, you better start running melee, because I'm coming after you again. Alright, yeah, here I can really just... Okay, not anymore. It's raining Mentos on me! That's what those bullets look like. They just look like giant white Mentos. Alright, now I can just farm points up here. close. Alright, thanks back there. Yeah, because we helped you run away, and I know Mei Ling's she's depicted in the fandom as a little bit, you know, lazy and tired, which I hope she used her moment of rest very well, because we're about to shred her again. Yeah, just a normal person who guards. Yeah, also a yokai. Apparently being a Chinese girl makes you a yokai. I guess she didn't take that very well. Alright, you know what? Screw that, I'm just gonna bomb right now. Better than just dealing with that RNG fest. Or actually, no, it's not RNG. It's not so much RNG there, it's just a very trippy pattern to dodge. I'd even say this is easier. Yeah, I know. I lost a bit of my bonus there because I used a bomb, but it doesn't really matter. Just focus on what's ahead. Of course, I die as soon as she does. Yeah, this has got to be a joke. And now we're on to the hard stages. Oh boy, this is gonna get rough for me, isn't it? Anyways, I have a strategy in mind for this. Stay on this side of the screen. Melt the fairies that are there, that way I have less of these blades to deal with. It's actually very easy to deal with, you know, as long as you know what you're doing. Just don't want to move too much and find gaps. Okay, I almost got ambushed by cleaners there. I want to save a few left just to deal with these things. Actually, I let one get away that time. Not my finest move there. Okay, now the green books. These are actually easy for me to deal with. Yeah, see, easy. Because people say that those are, like, infamous, but they weren't much of a problem for me. At least while playing as Marisa. Hopefully I get enough here to get one of my lives back. Yes! Alright. Now I know coming up next, yep, the shooters. And lasers. And more Mentos. Got squished there. There goes one of my lives. Again, I shouldn't be afraid to death bomb here. Or for me, it wouldn't even be death bombing because my FPS is way too high for that. Okay, I forgot. I'm not at full power yet. And I just went right into that. Oh boy, this is going spectacularly so far. I'm about to get squished again. Man, this is a mansion of horrors. Of horrors. That's what I said. Good, I'm back up to full power mode. The only problem is I only have 2 lives left. And that means 6 bombs. don't take any books, please. Well, you know Marisa. She's the stealer of precious things. Just trying to raise her up. Patchy's probably just looking at Marisa like she's a crazy person, which, to be fair, she is. Okay, yeah, this one isn't too bad. Okay, of course, as soon as I say that, I've unintentionally bombed there. But I am down to my last life, so can you really blame me? Metal sign, metal fatigue. Oy. Yellow Mentos. Okay. Again, I'm going for a 1 credit clear here, so if I don't make it past stage 4 without, like, you know, I'm just gonna restart. Alright, this time, hopefully I don't choke as much. Just gotta focus. Yeah, I can see why not many people stream these games, because you know, as a streamer, you have to talk a lot. And this game does not exactly promote that. Okay, I let her use her third attack that time, but that's fine. As long as we still get our extra power, not a big deal. That large power item. Not a big deal, though. We'll be able to make it back up. Yeah, I should be focusing more on getting these power items, because those are more important than the score at this point. Yes, she is a... Yeah, I have no problem with you calling Rumi a weirdo, Marisa. Because, to be fair, she kind of is. Good so far. I missed a few P items there, but no big deal. We'll be able to get them back. Okay. I didn't have to be too careful there because she got melted, like, instantly. Also, by the way, for context, guys, I know y'all can't see it, but right now my Ropet's asleep. But in her place right now, I have a Marisa Fumo sitting on my desk. Hopefully that'll grant me a little bit of luck with this, especially during the Sakuya boss fight, which, oh boy, people keep warning me about that one. Or at least the guide that I watched warned me about Sakuya's boss fight. That I actually took, like, I spent like an hour last night just practicing her stage alone. So far, no lives lost. Hopefully it stays that way. Alright, thanks for going right in the spot that I need you to go, Diose. Large P item. Grab that. Yeah, these are basically like... These birds are like bullets you can just destroy, so... I'm gonna take the opportunity to. And so are these falling icicles. At least I'm guessing that's what they are because, you know, we're entering Cyrano's domain. Just be careful not to run into anything. Alright, good so far. No lives and no bombs lost. Guess third time really is the charm. Alright, I'm actually gonna take a moment to drink before I get myself in this heated match. Alright. Focus time. And that last spread is so... Okay. That last spread there is like... Alright, you know what, just... There's a little gift from Diose. And I mean, Cyrano and Diose are supposed to be like good friends. In fanon, at least. Just be careful. Focus on the bullets that are about to run into you. Some of these are... Okay, yes, some of those are flying way too fast at me that I can't tell when they're about to... Where they're about to impact me. Should have bombed there as well. Yeah, the way I see it is, it's better to use a bomb than lose a life. Because a life is worth 3 bombs. Anyways, we're almost at 10 million points here, so we should be able to get that life back pretty shortly. Pretty soon. Actually, what am I doing? I should be rushing right to the top of the screen so I can get max point value out of these things. There we go. Again, gotta focus. That is not focusing. And I lost that extra life as soon as I got it. Shockwave would be very disappointed in me right now. This whole thing is clarity of thought before rashness of action, but I am being very rash right now. That time I didn't have to use a bomb, so that's good. Alright, I forgot. I'm not at full power right now. Oh man, this is just comical at this point. Might as well just let one of these, yeah, take me away like that. Alright. That light above me. The light that I have on me to, like, trigger my model movement right now, just so that, you know, my tracking software can work properly. I might need to turn that off so that I could actually focus specifically on the game. I mean, then it might look like my model's having a little bit of a spaz attack. But if I don't make it to stage 5 this time, I might just have to. Might also have to turn off my second screen so that I can focus. be worrying about moving too much, because that's how I've been running into bullets all this time. Sorry guys if I'm being a little bit quiet now. I'm actually trying to lock in right now. Alright, I'm just gonna skip that dialogue now because, yeah, I've read it like 4 times now tonight, so might as well get through it quick. So we got limited time here tonight. Right. Don't lose your cool yet, X. You know what, I should probably do that right now, actually.
I am gonna turn off the light so that I can actually focus on this. There we go.
So sorry in advance if my model tracking starts to go all over the place. There we go. Now I can actually focus on the game instead of, like, wherever my light's shining right now. As long as I can get rid of Diose before she does her third attack, that's good, in my opinion. Just be careful that I don't end up running into any stray birds. Or icicles now. They even have small ones here. Those are like trippy to dodge there. Alright, we're close to full power now. Yeah. Now my model isn't even tracking at all, it's just still there. But you know what? It's better that I have a dark room right now so that I can focus on the game instead of, like, whatever else is in front of me. 'Cause the room I'm in right now is currently a mess. Right, there's probably a bit of a waste there. Really don't care. I was not going to deal with the second round of her ice shotgun. Or another random death to her. To her icicle fall. Okay, I gotta gap. Yeah, it's all about finding gaps right now. I almost got closed in up there. They said that those bullets wouldn't, like, aim at you, but that time they were. So that was a freaking lie. Alright. 1 life down, but better than last time so far. Let's keep this up. And again, I shouldn't care as much about using up my bombs. I'm nowhere near the level where I could just do this game without using them, so no shame in using them, you know? There we go. Next life obtained. Now that I'm at max power, I should prioritize getting points, not just spirit power. Yeah, it's a bit risky, but I have faith in myself that I'm able to get as many of those points as possible. Alright, now it's time for Chinese Girl. Alright, you know what? No, I'm just gonna bomb right there. One bomb for 1 life. That's a trade worth making, in my opinion. Now it's raining Mentos again. Whee! I'm starting to get a bit tripped up here. Alright, I'm already almost at 20 million points, so should be getting my next life soon. I almost lost a life there. That must have been like within a micro inch of hitting me. Or a micrometer. Yeah, just a normal person who guards. Yet you're also a yokai. That doesn't exactly make you normal in Marisa's book. Alright, just... I might be out of bombs on this life right now, but I really don't care. Okay, well that's actually a blessing in disguise for me. Because now I actually have my bombs back. Oh man, how did I dodge all that? How did I dodge all that? Oh man. Yeah, turning the lights off really was a good idea for me. Or not. But hey, at least I'm going into stage 4 with more lives than I did before. Yeah, I have my starting live count back now, so hopefully we can make it through stage 4 without too many issues. Actually, here I am saying not too many issues, but I know that this is like the hardest stage for me so far. Heck, I'd even argue to say it's harder than stage 5. Because at least stage 5 I practiced a little bit outside of stream. Alright, give me that. Give me those and give me that. Oh, boy. time to deal with these cleaners. Okay, yeah, I wanted to wait until these guys showed up to use up the cleaner bonus, but guess that's gonna have to... Guess that plan got canceled. Alright, time to deal with Kokuma. Okay, yeah, that was easy. Alright, still 4 lives though, so should be able to make it. Again, I shouldn't be afraid to use bombs here. Especially if I'm in danger like that. Better to use those than to use my lives. Here I am saying better to use my bombs than to use my lives, but I didn't even notice that was there. Back up to full power now. Just not risking it right now. I'm gonna use one of my bombs again. Right, we're at my highest score so far. Now to deal with Patchy. Alright, let's see how to passively kill the black thing in front of you. Oh man. Imagine if that was an actual spell. Hey Lolly Detective, nice to have you join us. Again, sorry if you can't see my model move right now. That's because I had all the lights turned off so that I could focus on the game. Because right now the... That was easy to get through. And to deal with giant yellow Mentos. Should have bombed there. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna bomb now. Actually, what am I thinking? I shouldn't have done that. She was about to die. She was about to move on to the next phase anyways. Okay, I'm already down to 1 life left. So I shouldn't be afraid to use my bombs. Because this spell is an absolute cluster. Why does your avatar look like Aaron from AOT? I wouldn't know because I am not familiar with AOT. Well, I'm down to 1 life once on stage 5. Not good for me. Alright, now here's my strategy. I'm gonna stay above here. And die, apparently. Alright, well, you know what? I'm actually gonna continue here because... You know, the way I see it, stage 4 is the make or break point. So I'm just gonna continue. don't care if I don't get the good ending. It's just practice for me. At this point. Here I am, still dying. Alright, this is where this is an area where I absolutely must bomb. Right there. Okay, I like those old anime pixel games. It's cool. Not sure I'd call this game old. Of course, I was about to bomb there, but it didn't. The button didn't register. Now's the absolute spam fest. I might as well bomb here as well. Looks like from the it looks like it's from the 1900s. It's actually early 2000s, this one. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. I could totally see this being like an early PlayStation title. Isn't maid in the context of a mansion? Wouldn't maintenance staff and maid be the same thing? All right. Now this is actually easy compared to the rest of the stage, so at least to mine. Oh, I almost got cut up there. Chopped up again. Suck you. Oy. It doesn't look easy. Yeah, this is not a beginner-friendly game. The only reason I'm playing this game first in like the line of Touhou games is because it's the first in the Windows era. It's compared to some of the later games, it is way more simple. Yeah, you have to have very good like hand-eye coordination, which kind of something I'm lacking right now. And I was hoping like playing this game would help me get better, but apparently it's just pointing out my weak spots as much as always. But yeah, that's my second to last continue used. Now, like I said, next stage is the final stage, which should hopefully be easier. At least based on my past experience, on my off-screen experience. And when I say bomb, I mean use my own, like, special high-end attack. You're an unusual person, aren't you? Well, back at you, you're some sort of maid. That's all I saw there. Yeah, see, I shouldn't be afraid to do that, but a lot more reluctant to do that than I really should be. Alright, here we are. This strange atmosphere is giving me the chills. Why do the strong ones always hide? Alright, well, there she is. Romelia Scarlet, the fate-altering vampire. Humans are the only creatures that need a simple organ for cognition. You're one of those, right? Can't stand sunlight or smelly vegetables? Or silver things? You know, the Masters of the Night with tons of weaknesses for some reason. Yes, I've always been a sickly little girl. How night, do you really drink it? Of course I do, but I'm a light diner and always leave some left. How many people's blood have you sucked till now? Can you remember the... Okay, that part got memed to high hell. How many pieces of bread did you eat? Well, I'm hungry. You can... Oh my goodness. You can eat me. I can, thus. Just now, that was the name of the flower. And cut this. Humans are fun. Or maybe you're not human. I'm a fun human. Because the moon is so red, it looks like it's gonna be a hot/cold night. Alright, I'm gonna pause so that I can read this. I don't know about you, but I like anime pixel games from the 19s. It just looks cooler and nostalgic. Yeah, I can understand the aesthetic for it. The only reason... It was actually one hell of a rabbit hole I dug myself into with this game. So, the reason I got into the Touhou franchise is... Let me actually turn down the volume on my end. So, back when I was in high school, I came across I was doing some random video scrolling during a break session, so... You know... Back then... Even back then, there were a lot of websites blocked, but YouTube wasn't one of them. And I happened to come across a video on YouTube called Armageddon, which was... I initially thought was like some abstract video about nuclear warfare, but no, it was actually a Touhou project video. And then the dominoes just started falling from there until I found myself here actually playing a game for... I wouldn't say the first time. The first time was a stream that I took offline. But yeah, this is like the first Touhou game that I'm playing right now. Why she looks so happy when she said, "You can eat me"? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just her way of rizzing Marisa up. She has more phases than some of the others. Yeah, that was easy to deal with. It's really the non-spell card attacks that are a pain. Yeah, but they're both girls, so... To my knowledge, there are only girls in Gensokia, which... That is a bit strange. Oh, hey, Trunks, glad to see you could join us. I'm playing Touhou 6 right now. It is in the stream title, right? Okay, now I'm down to 3 bombs. just some really hard bullet hell that I happen to fall down the rabbit hole for. Alright, this time I am just gonna bomb it right now. Just... Nah, it's not a bit strange. It is very, very strange. And I suppose so. Alright. Well, she's invincible while I'm bombing, so... If anything, that just serves to clear the screen out a bit. But yeah, this doesn't look too bad. I just don't want the screen to get completely cluttered. Okay, well, now's that time. I'm gonna have to take a quick moment away for a moment, guys. So I'll be back shortly. guys, I'm back. Again, sorry that I had to take a long break there. It's just one of the rules, according to like what I found online, is like if you make videos or if you stream the games, you're not allowed to show the endings. So, unfortunately there I got the bad ending. So, the way you get the good ending is that you beat the entire game without using a single continue, which I had used 2 there. So, I was able to make it up to stage 5 without having to use 1, I believe. So just as long as I could get enough lives before then and, you know, liberally start using my spell card bombs, I might be able to do it. I would ideally want to do it, get a 1 CC on this game before, or 1 credit clear before I move on to the next game in the series. So yeah, I'm gonna try it 1 more time for tonight. If I can't, well, maybe I'll return to this game later, but I guess I'll be moving on to the next game in the series, which I do have on my laptop right now. But anyways, let's try 1 more time to get that 1 credit clear. And again, I'm using the same character, same loadout, because this is just the one I've been getting used to at the moment. I swear the screen starts... It's been getting more cluttered. Or maybe it's just me. Good start so far. Just as long as I grab as many spirit power points as I can. Not so much focus on getting this on the blue items, just the red P items. By the way, that whole like ending dialogue between Romelia and Marisa, yeah, it was a bit strange, but to my knowledge, there are only girls in Gitsokyo. And to be fair, I never understood the idea of rizzing someone up. I can get close to the lasers. As long as they don't actually hit my body. If they hit the character's skirt, that still counts as dodging it. Just focus. Doing good so far. Second stage is really where I started to trip up last time, but this is supposed to be one of the easier stages. fairy to meet its end. Why are fairies enemies in this game? Actually, why am I even asking that? Y'all probably don't know the answer either. Unless there's like a Touhou fanatic in the chat. But yeah, I don't know why some of these enemies are, well, enemies. Oh yes, now I'm at full power mode. Now, I don't want to get too cocky here because this is where I died. Like, it's like one of the first times I did this is like I died as soon as I reached max power. So I gotta focus. Yeah, you won't ever walk upon land again. I'll only walk on ice. Thin ice at that. Get absolutely shredded. Yay, I didn't have to use one of my bombs there. For me... Of course, I ran right into that laser. If I'm gonna move, I gotta commit to my movements. That section took a little bit longer than I was hoping for. Of course, she's on the opposite side of the screen, so won't be able to hit her or anything. Wow, I think I might actually time her out of her spell card here. Yeah, I got no bonuses or anything from that. That's the first time that's happened on stream. At least for a main boss. I think it's happened for me before for like some of the mid bosses, but never like a main boss. I was just so focused on dodging there that I didn't actually do enough damage to, you know, end her spell card quicker. Or getting any extra bonuses. But ah well. Hopefully we can rectify that in this round. In this stage. There we go, extra live obtained. Actually, I didn't really need that many points to get it. Okay. As soon as I got it, I lost it very quickly. I guess I didn't really move that much, but alright. 3 lives, not Well, 4 lives, actually. Not too bad so far, but ideally could use more. Here's a perfect place to gain up. Didn't have to move at all there. Alright, now to focus. Yeah, good question. How the heck was Marisa raised? Very questionably. Like, all I can answer for it. As soon as one of those phases ends, I gotta rush right up to the top so I can get all those points. Okay, why did I move there? When in doubt, don't move, which is like counterintuitive, but that's what this game teaches you sometimes. Take that back. Deal with the cleaners as efficiently as possible, and then... Okay, yeah, no, don't rush my way on up! Well, at least I got an extra life back, but... These rice shots are really gonna trip me up. Okay, I was a little bit doubtful on where my hitbox was there. Not good so far, unfortunately. Looks like I get one of my lives. No, I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna be able to make it to 40 million points is what the next live threshold. Not without using all my bombs, which... If only I could lower my FPS somehow. That way I could actually increase the chances of me being able to death bomb. I felt like I was getting cornered there, so had to. Again, I should be a lot more liberal with using my bombs. for my spell cards. Alright, now time for another rizzing session with Maryse. That totally came out wrong there. Maryse. I guess. Some of these times, bullets just corner me. Where'd the laser come from that time? Okay, well, I guess I'm just... Why not? Just gonna keep practicing. So I'm probably gonna need it. This is the easy one. Yeah, those bullets, the big green ones, their hitbox is a bit deceptive. Why am I messing this up so badly now? Sheesh. I should have just done that to begin with. Yeah, I know. You're so anemic you can't even recite your spells properly. And apparently after the... This isn't like spoiling the ending or anything, but... After this, you know, Patchy and Marisa are supposed to become close friends, albeit a bit reluctantly. Sort of practiced for. Yeah, I know your cleaning's not going anywhere. And your cleaning involves getting rid of us. That's why it hasn't gone far. Oh, am I actually... Wow, I actually survived that. Not that, though. Oh, man. I'm actually doing worse this time, it seems. So I'm already on my second continue on Sakyu's fight. Once again, as quickly as I gained that extra life, lost it. Yeah. Getting in the way of your cleaning. No, Sakuya is actually a pretty cool character. It's just that her fight's a bit of a pain. And she is actually a playable character in the next game, which I will definitely be taking advantage of. It feels like I'm, oddly enough, more familiar with dealing with the bosses than I am with the actual, like, stage portions. Of course, as soon as I say that, I freaking die. Afraid to bomb my way out of that one because it's one annoying spell card to deal with. Can I actually become a chief maid without becoming a maid? Of course you can't! Oh man, she looks so annoyed with us after that, and I can't say I blame her. Waste of a bomb there, but got myself an extra life back. You're an unusual person, aren't you? Yeah, we know she's a little bit more than a maid. Here's thinking I'd be able to make my way through all that without getting utterly demolished, but I did. Well, anyways, I got one life and a total of 7 usable bombs here. So, yeah. Time for another wrist session. Skillful Hawk does not show any claws. You don't seem to have a brain. Humans are the only creatures that need a simple organ for cognition. You're one of those, right? Can't stand sunlight or smelly vegetables, onions, or silver things. That's kind of contradictory because, well, her maid is supposed to carry silver knives. And yes, can you remember the amount of times you've eaten bread? 13 times. I usually eat Japanese food. Humans are fun. Or maybe you're not human. I'm a fun human. Yeah, of course. And they actually become friends after this. Wow, I can't believe. Just Let's just bomb there again, but alright. Another continue use. And the amount of skill you need in order to 1cc this game. Man, I don't like that spell card in particular. Actually survive. Oh, of course, as soon as I say that, I get ambushed. Wow, as soon as I hit the bomb button was when I got Thanos snapped. Well, anyways, guys, this stream's been going on for like around an hour and a half right now. And yeah, I think I'll be doing a little bit more practice for this game off stream. And hopefully I'll be able to practice enough that I actually get a 1 credit clear. But for now, in terms of like streaming this game, I think I'm going to be finished for now and be moving on to the next one, which from what I've heard is slightly easier. And you are allowed to clear the game on easy mode in the next one. So yeah, I'll hopefully be trying to do that. Maybe that will be my first 1 credit clear. But for now, guys, I'm going to end it here. I am planning on streaming again tomorrow. What exactly, I'm not sure, but we'll see what I feel like streaming when the time comes. Take care, everyone. Have some fun out there. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And until next time, farewell.